Welcome to WJHI Studios for another WJHI production. I'm Abigail Hammock, and joining me today is Lilly Anderson. Lilly was recently awarded the J100 scholarship that is worth up to $150,000. And today we are going to see how Jeffersonville's JROTC program prepared her for her future in college as well as the military. Hi Lilly, how are you doing today?
Good, how are you?
I'm doing great, thanks for asking. Why have you decided to join the military and specifically the Air Force?
Well, I decided to join the military because I think it's a really great route to go, and I've had a lot of mentors help me through what to do with my future, and the Air Force has definitely been at the top of that list, and I just see a lot of opportunities that I could take through the Air Force.
Perfect, and I'm hoping one of your mentors today is over here in the corner.
Of course.
Thank you for joining us today, Colonel Benning.
Absolutely.
The first question I think we're all wondering is, could you tell us a little bit more about the J100 scholarship?
Sure. The J100 scholarship is just for JROTC cadets. So it's a scholarship that's given just out to them, and it starts out, if you look at the JROTC program overall, there's about 90,000 cadets nationwide. And then if we narrow that down to the seniors, there's about 15,000 seniors nationwide. Out of that, detachments or units, schools that have Air Force JROTC can nominate the best of the best. This year, we nominated, I think it was 523 students for this particular scholarship. Now, there's minimum requirements. There's ACT, SAT score requirements that they have to have, GPA, and a fitness test. Out of that 523, we put in an application that Miss Anderson did. I do a letter of recommendation. She writes an essay, and we input everything that she's done. And that the whole purpose of that is to look at that whole person concept. So now we've gone from 90,000, 15,000, 523, and then they took the top 210 that go on to an interview stage. So that interview stage then it's a Zoom call. It's a very detailed interview. It's a 3-person panel. And it's something that I know Miss Anderson took a lot of time to prepare for, because it's very serious, because now you've gone from down to just 210, but only 100 are going to get the scholarship. That's it. That's why it's called the J100. So only 100 get the scholarship. And she did very well on her interview, and because of that, was selected for the J100 scholarship. Now, what she needs to do with that scholarship is enroll in a program, an ROTC program, Air Force ROTC, and pursue her commission in the Air Force. But that's how that scholarship works.
As a friend and as a classmate, I'm very proud of Lilly because I know that this was a huge deal to her. I remember when she got chosen to be in the interview stage, she was so excited, but she was so nervous at the same time.
Sure.
So I'm so proud of her as a friend as well
Absolutely.
to get this scholarship. How is the Air Force ROTC program in college different than the high school JROTC program?
Yeah, the ROTC program in college is all about commissioning and becoming an officer in the Air Force. JROTC program, we call it a citizenship program. There's no military obligation at all, but we're going to teach them some of the basics, and that's what's going to carry over. So what's going to carry over for her from JROTC, she's already going to know how to wear the uniform. She's already going to know how to march, right? Yes, how to march. The physical fitness aspect, all that's important. So she takes that, goes to the ROTC program, and they're going to develop her further as a leader, because what we want is in 4 years for her to be an officer in the Air Force. And as an officer in the Air Force, she's going to be leading other personnel in the Air Force, and she's got to be part of that. That Air Force is going to fight and win our wars. And so it's really important that she goes through that and gets her commission.
And seeing her in the JROTC program, obviously this is huge leading up to how her career is going to be and everything. Lilly, how do you feel that the AF JROTC program has prepared you for your future in the military?
Yeah, well, the program, I've been in it all 4 years, and I've learned everything from leadership to all the physical aspects that I'm going to need in the military. So I've been commander of multiple things in JROTC, so my leadership has definitely grown since a freshman, I'd say so. And also, if you add in all the weekly PT I did and being a huge part of the PT team that we have in ROTC, then I think that's prepared me most for the military and definitely for ROTC in college.
So where do you plan on going to college and using your scholarship?
Well, clearly I plan on going to IU, and I think the the ROTC program there has had a lot of success, and I've heard lots of good things about it. I also really love the campus at IU, and yeah, I'm really just excited to use what I've learned there at ROTC and at the campus.
Yeah, and you're being a big girl now. You're going to the ROTC program.
Yeah.
Do you feel mentally and physically prepared to be in the military?
I do. Like I just said, AFJROTC and Colonel Benning has taught me so much about leadership. So I started as just a little freshman and wasn't really into much things. I was in this little bubble. And throughout the years, I've grown with that so much. I've had so many leadership opportunities and really excelled at them, I feel. And also with the physical attributes, always at my top, my best game with that. And, I think that's really important for ROTC in college.
Well, from what I hear, you're definitely physically prepared, as Colonel Benning was touching on earlier with all you do in the program. But, Colonel, I'm curious, what are some of Lily's highlights within the Air Force JROTC program?
Yeah, so Lily was one of those students that you meet for the first time, even her freshman year, and this young lady's going places. And so I knew that right away. And in 10 years, I only get a few of those, that right away. You get some that you want to mentor and you build into leaders. She already had some of that leadership talent, rolling into the program. Freshman year, at the end of freshman year, she gets to go to nationals for our academic bowl team. And we finished third in the nation. So she's part of that as a freshman.
Congrats.
So third in the nation as a freshman. We went on from that. She was our PT team lead. And so what she did there was she planned every PT event that we do on Fridays. So Fridays when you see JRTC out, that's what she was doing as a freshman in her sophomore year. We moved on and gave her the job as recruiting. So what do we do? Who do we recruit? We recruit 8th graders because we got to get 8th graders to come in. That year that she was recruiting, she set our record for the amount of 8th graders that we had in the program. So it was the highest we had had in 10 years. Then we said, well, let's do community service. So the following year she does community service, and the Corps gets more hours than we've ever gotten with community service. And in community service, that's one of the areas, besides PT, and I'll talk about that in a minute, where she really excels because we like getting her out there. If you know Lily, what you do, when she rocks into a room of strangers, they all know her when she leaves. And getting her out there, especially with those veterans, they really enjoy getting to know her. And I think she enjoys getting to know them and being able to thank them for their service. The PT team, in addition to doing our PT and planning our PT, we have a competition team that goes out. And I'm confident in the 4 years that she was here, that's where the 10 years that I've been here, we haven't gotten more trophies than the time frame that she was here. And she was a critical part of all those different PT competitions that we had. So every job that I've given her, she's excelled at, and it's just made our program better.
And as I said before, I do know Lily severally from, I guess, the JROTC program. She is such like a caring individual. You said when you walk in that room, they'll know her when she leaves. She's such an outgoing and caring person. How and what kind of person is the military going to get with Lily? Yeah,
and one of the things that I remember, we'll go back to that freshman year in one of the early PT events, and I remember talking to her parents. This was out at New Albany, during one of the timeouts or whatever, talking about how her desire to go into the military. So even as a freshman, she's talking about that, and that service before self, when you see that early on, and then she stays on that path. That really important aspect. We talked about just being a natural leader. So she can go into a situation. We do a lot of team building exercises with JROTC, and she can go in the situation. She may not be the designated leader, but by the time we're done, she's led that group to success. So that natural leadership is really important. Last year, she got selected to go to Hoosier Girls State. So she was just one of 2 students from Jeff Hyde to be able to go to that. Wow. So it was one of those very important things that, again, kind of distinguish her from her peers. 2 different varsity sports that she has. So the fitness aspect, and we talked about that being part of the PT program. Within JROTC, we do a PT test twice a year. She's always on the top as far as our PT elite. And then we thought, well, let's go ahead and give her the active duty PT test, which is push-up, sit-ups on a 1.5-mile run. And she's still in the 90th percentile for that. So excelling, that's something that she's excelling at. Here at school, know she's involved in a number of things from National Honor Society, helps out with the blood drive. She does stuff with her youth group. So that's church youth group, so a well-rounded individual. The other aspect that's important is that she works part-time. So that's that time management. All of these are qualities that, an officer needs. And ultimately, what I always see, so for this scholarship, I'm not going to nominate just anybody because I want somebody to be successful. I've been on that other end teaching ROTC, and I'm not going to send somebody who's not going to get through the program because I want to get them commissioned. So what do they need to be? They need to be a leader, check. Need to be intelligent academically, 13 AP tests, great grades. So she's got that check mark there. We talked about a people person. Very important to be an officer to be able to do that. So we've got that check mark. Physical fitness, we've talked about that. And then the last is that just desire to put yourself before others and to serve your nation. So all 5 I've got check marks in, and you got to check mark all 5 for me to nominate you for this. So I've got confidence that the Air Force is going to get a great officer in a few years.
I think my biggest takeaway from that, and everybody at home as well, is the 2 words that stick out to me the most for Lilly is committed and determined. She seems like she's a very committed person. She's going to work. She's going to church youth group. She's going to do these community service activities, and she's determined to get that. She's determined to be in the top 90th percentile for your PT test. She's determined to get time with her family and everything. So the military and Indiana is going to get a very just determined and committed person. And before we get all committed and everything, is there anybody you'd like to thank for helping you get here today?
Yeah, definitely. First, I'd like to thank my parents and my friends. They've been supporting me ever since I decided I wanted to do this, which was at a very young age. I wouldn't be in JROTC if it weren't for my parents. And I'd also like to give a huge thank you, obviously, to Colonel Benning. Like he said, my freshman year, he's been my mentor and been with me every step of the way. And I definitely would not be in this seat right now if it weren't for him. So thank you so much.
You're most welcome.
And yeah.
Well, let's go ahead and get this document official. And with that, it's official.
Congratulations.
Congratulations to Lilly on her J100 scholarship and her commitment to Indiana University. I'd like to thank Lilly and Colonel Benning, as well as everyone behind the camera, for coming out today and sharing this incredible achievement with WJHI. You can see the replay of this on any of our WJHI social media channels. You can listen to us on 98.5, as well as on our stream on cable channel 184. And with that, I'm Abigail Hammond.